Where do you see wealth heading over like the next few years, or like what upgrades or improvements would you personally like to see as well?
Well, long term, I'm gonna say we will be. I'm speaking optimistically here. I'm not gonna downplay us. I think we've already overcome a lot. We're a small team, and what we've delivered and built in house is incredible. And the drive that we have, we will be the app for pre-IPO investing, the mobile app. If you're looking to put your money into the next big thing, the next SpaceX, the next Tesla, you come to Wealth. You download the app, start with $20, and you're in. And I think that's where we want to be, where we will be. 5 years time, we want to be like a household name. Everyone knows it uses just as much as someone would be investing in something like Binance for crypto, right? Or Robinhood for anything else. We want to replace those for pre-IPO. That's the long-term goal. The next couple of months come with releasing the app, opening up access to everyone, make it more user-friendly, onboarding the masses like everyone wants to do. Yeah, just making it accessible and opening the borders, like opening it to the 99%.
Yeah, great questions. We're really transparent at Wealth, probably to a fault, because what normally happens is, there's a lot of copycats out there. I was just at a conference in Abu Dhabi, and I saw at least 3 people who were copying exactly what we're doing, and not even like with a little bit of like nuance or trying to be discreet about it. They actually copy the text that we use on our website and like all that sort of stuff. But I don't care. I think it's a form of flattery, and it just gives us validation. I think that we're doing the right things. We're super confident in who we are as founders and technologists, and our roadmap as well. So that we don't believe that competition is going to be competition for much longer. We are about to release the native mobile apps, which I think is a game changer, especially if you're going to get a lot of new users on board. That is where new users, like to, what's the word, engage and participate. It's through their mobile native apps, right, from App Store, iOS, Android. And it's also a way for them to do due diligence, right? Because if it's in there, then it's probably, or at least in theory, it's past certain levels of scrutiny, and app stores have said, yes, this is fine, this is good, go ahead. So that's important for us to get that kind of like validation and verification from a native mobile app. But also the user experience will be really, really good, really, really slick. Like the web app right now, there's maybe quite a lot of options that you can explore. On the mobile app, it's going to be crystal clear. It's going to have a list of companies. If you want to be involved in that company, you push on it. You can read a little bit more, or you can invest directly, like a couple of clicks from download to investment. And I think that's the gold standard, like we talked about before. It's a game of clicks. So that's the big milestone that we're looking towards. We just yesterday announced that we are part of the Base app, and for those outside of crypto that might not mean a lot, but for those inside crypto, the Base app is the super app that the Base Coinbase team have released. And essentially Wealth is a mini app inside their app. So if a user is on the Base app and they've got 500 USDC in there, they can click on our app and go and buy pre-IPO through our app just using the Base app. So that's really, really cool. And Base is, of course, huge ecosystem. And Coinbase is their, grandfather organization, and they have, they're a publicly listed company, and they have huge amounts of reach and distribution potential. So, there's a lot of cool stuff happening with our sort of Base ecosystem. But, if you're outside of Web3, then maybe it doesn't mean too much, to the general person. And in terms of our roadmap, I don't want to give exactly, our target destination, because I think that would be probably a little bit risky at this stage. But what I can say is AI is a huge part of that. We've got a firm thesis on where financial technology is headed, and it doesn't stop at pre-IPO access for sure. That's just one type of asset which is fitting under our thesis of one of the best ways and tried and tested ways, as we discussed, to build wealth is compounding value over time and investing in the right companies at the right time. And that is what we're trying to do with the pre-IPO access. But there's also other things, right? A lot of people make money in DeFi strategies, compounding strategies, yield strategies. There's a lot of really interesting ways to take money and to make it compound over time. We're leaning into those. We're exploring those. We've got quite a few under development. And then, as a user, I think it's going to be incredibly important that you're not exposed to all this without having someone hold your hand. And in the future, that person holding your hand is going to be a digital person. But the value of that is huge, right? Because if you're able to program that guidance to be set to your tastes and your preferences, your risk, everyone talks about it. What is your risk appetite? And if your AI agent is already pre-programmed with all of those kind of characteristics of you as a person, then in theory, the decisions that are going to be made after that are going to be much more tailored to who you are and your personal goals and what hopefully where you want to be in 5-10 years. So that's a big part of it, and it fits like squarely into the wealth ideology, which is basically using technology to allow people to access wealth creation in the best possible way.
Making the app as simple as possible, and like we are kind of like now in the real world assets, so now we are doing pre-IPOs in which like you have a chance to like invest in companies before they made their IPOs. So that's actually like what I like, and it's especially for me like just make the RWA opportunities more for the users, because like even for some small things, like I was always interested in the RWA world basically, and for example, there's a very good collectible maybe that will make money in the future and you are believing in it, right? But you don't want to spend like hundreds of thousands of dollars, so you can just like create an RWA for it and let people invest on it, and then you can make a decision to buy or refund. So I think like extends what people can invest, and I think that is why like that's a great opportunity for them, because it just removes all the restrictions, like it can be like all the financial restrictions from a person, and they can just invest a like very small amount in order to get a portion of what they actually wanted to invest.